What up, world? It's your boy Treydmark, and this is Follow the Drip Podcast, Episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
I try to be a trapper, go to college and make something happen. I got 20 years at 20 years old. I get off parole when I'm 44. Is that the way you want to go? No. Don't follow that road.
What up, world? It's your boy Treydmark, and this is Follow the Drip Podcast, Episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it.
Today, we like to introduce you to our show, y'all. Waco's been needing this for a while, so now we're going to bring it to the forefront. It's time. It's time for us to get to know the people around and what the community is doing, so we're here. I'd like to introduce my host, Money B, and Miss Angii Babii.
What's going on?
It's good, world.
So first of all, we'd like to get into introduction of us and what kind of brought us to this. Follow the Drip Podcast. Me and Money B were actually talking on a Facebook post a few months ago, and he was, going through his top 5 hip-hop albums of 2018. I kind of chimed in, and through an inbox message, we kind of, came up with this show. This is going to give artists, business owners, entrepreneurs an opportunity to actually come on and show their face and promote themselves. And at the same time, it's going to promote us, and it's going to promote positive money. What is positive money? Positive money is basically the opposite of negative money. Anything you can do positively in order to make a change, make a difference, in order to make some change, that's positive money. If you're a construction worker, that's positive money. You're a teacher, positive money. Car salesman, of course, positive money.
Hairstylist.
Hairstylist,
positive
money.
There you go.
So, there's multiple things. You're a rapper, actor, dancer, singer.
Artist.
It's time to get your name out there. It's time to let the world see your face. A lot of people do radio interviews, but this is actually an opportunity for the people to be able to see you and see what you got going on, and be able to have a forum to promote yourselves as well as what you got going on, and give people the reason to follow your drip. So first thing I'd like to introduce is my co-host, my beautiful co-host, Miss Angii Babii, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and her background and why she wanted to do this show. So, Miss Angii Babii, take it away.
Hola, hola, hola. It's your girl, Miss Angii Babii, and Follow the Drip Podcast. I am a part of it because I do feel like we need to have a positive influence on the community. My biggest thing is, like I say, hydrate the community. Why are they so dry? Why are we not filled in about certain things? And I feel like I have that extra voice to let it be heard from my perspective. Not that I'm right, but my opinion needs to be heard as well as others, and we have that forum for it. What brought me to it, I have a background in history in radio, music, as an artist myself, and of course I'm my own business owner. So I have a lot of different platforms that I can use this for, as well as bringing people network and show what we are about as far as the Waco community in Central Texas, surrounding markets, and where we're trying to expand to, because it's not just following the drip right here. We're gonna follow the drip, the river, the Nile, wherever we need to go, to the ocean, however big we need to make this, we're gonna do it all over the world. We're trying to make this global, baby. Like, you see us everywhere. So hey, that's what I'm about, and I hope y'all follow the drip.
And make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. That's follow_the_drip_podcast on Instagram, as well as Facebook. Follow the Drip Podcast, or you can email us if you want to be on this show. You feel like you got something coming out, something that the people need to hear, and you want to be on this show. Hop in our inbox. Let's Follow the Drip Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll see about getting you on here. We're gonna talk about it. If you got fashion going on, hey, come on to the show, bring some clothes in, make sure you bring some gifts for the staff.
Right. If you want to sell some of those bundles, ladies, we would like to have something to show the ladies the quality of your bundles. Even from the healthcare industry, we're going to bring in some of you ladies, men as well, to let the people know how to keep their health up, because if you're not healthy, then how you gonna do anything? I'm just saying.
So Money B, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What it do, world? This your boy Money B, aka Money Beezy. Take it easy.
Hey.
And like Trey said earlier, we were speaking about doing this for a while back, and we feel like this is the platform to help artists to really expand their voice, to get heard, to be seen, and just to help the talent. With so much talent in Waco, so much talent that we can actually put forward and give a voice to here in the Waco community. So that's why I'm here. I love hip hop. I've been doing music since I was young, since I was 12. Pretty much just, I love everything about it, and this is just, it's a passion for me, something I've been wanting to do, and I feel like with this platform now I can finally express myself the best way possible to the community and help others as well. They feel the same about the music community. So,
and shout out to Money B, man. He just dropped a freestyle online the
and
other
he
day,
was
man.
eating.
And he ate that thing. So y'all might go follow Money B. Hey, like I said, he got something to say.
He's humble.
Of course, I'm an artist myself. It's been a while, but like I said, don't think the clip ain't loaded.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Miss Angii Babii.
Yes, sir.
So you told us about your background in radio. What station did you work for?
I was on-air personality. I did several things with the radio station, guys. So I was on-air personality. I also did advertising and marketing. So I sold sales. Selling air is the hardest thing you can do while you can't see it. That's why. But I did do that as well as I cleaned the building to make sure, you come into a nice thing. I like a lot of streams of income, positive money. But with the radio, it led me to where I am here today. It let me have my own voice and speak and not just go with the flow of everybody else's words. Because how I feel might not be how you feel, but it might be how somebody else feel. So I'd rather be that voice for that one person that don't never get heard. Well, here you go. It's your girl, Miss Angii. So that's what, that's my background in that. And I've been in organized singing since I was like 8 years old. So music is just how I keep up with my life, period, point blank.
So Miss Angii Babii, where you from? Where you originally from?
I'm originally from Del Rio, Texas. I'm a military brat, so I'm not from Waco. Sorry.
Okay.
I was raised here though. I was raised here, and it made me who I am today. I got to, live. I can't say I was just one of those kids that were in poverty, but I had those poverty-stricken situations that happen to everybody go through or whatever. But yeah, Waco, if you can make it in Waco, maybe you can make it anywhere. I'm just saying that to you. And this is where I came from. I got it out the mud right here. And like I said, I'm getting out the mud and I'm sculpting masterpieces. And that's what I hope that everybody else strives to want to do. And regardless if it's, cutting grass or whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're molding a masterpiece and you're keeping it 1,000. Not 100, but 1,000. So, yeah.
I like that.
Money B, where you originally from?
Originally from Chicago, but adopted in Texas, pretty much. Been in Texas for about 20 years. I love the music scene, the underground
Sign
scene.
them papers, boy.
Yeah, hey man, I'm legit now. You know what I'm saying? Especially, this is where I kind of built my music scene out here in Waco. Like I say, I love the music scene here in Texas. A lot of independent grind down here. A lot of artists, really getting out the mud, like Angii said. So I feel like Texas helped mold me as an artist because I want to be an independent artist. That's what I'm grinding for, and that's what I'm working for. I just like to see. I love to see the music talent in Waco and where it's going right now. I feel like it's in a good space. And like I said, I met Trey through music. He's put me on the platform to perform at his shows, the Boosie concert, a few years ago, and we linked up, and we've been good friends ever since. So this is just a good platform for us all to do what we love to do and bring it to the forefront for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell y'all a little bit about myself. Trey, or Treydmark, as people might know me, bow tie on a Monday through Friday type of thing.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah, grew up right here. Born and raised in Waco, Texas. PSV, North 9th Street. Born and raised. I got pictures on the porch. A lot of people say I don't carry it on me, but that's good to me. My mama handled her business.
Amen.
She stayed on me about my grades.
About everything.
Pretty much about everything. Discipline was big in my house. If them dishes wasn't washed, then when you got to the house, something was gonna come behind it. And I'm trying to make sure I instill that in my kids. Of course, this day and age, something's a little bit tougher.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little bit tougher doing this for your kids. But anyway, more back to me. Like I said, born in the north, but I was kind of raised in East Waco too, because in the summer times I would go to my dad's house. He was a Hood Street, so it would be Hood Street Park on Sundays when all the cars came out. Cameron Park on the weekends, y'all. Back in the 90s, Cameron Park was the thing when you could actually drive all the way around. And that's when everybody brought their cars out. That's when people would be out barbecuing with their kids. Families were big back in the 90s. And I'm not gonna tell you my age, but like I said, hip hop or music in general kind of was a thing that kind of was centered around the discipline. Whenever there was some cleaning going on in my house, it basically had a soundtrack.
Right.
Basically life has a soundtrack.
It does.
And sometimes it's hard to remember a day or a specific thing that you were doing at a certain period of time, but if you can hear that song, then
exactly
it refers you back to that
right.
thing. So all I can remember was my mama playing Mary J. Blige, man, when it was time to clean up that house. And we talked about this once before, but I heard that you're all I need. You're all I need. Mary
my
J and
favorite
Method
tracks.
Man, and I was hooked. I was hooked on hip hop then. We're gonna get into our favorite artists in a little bit here, but music itself, and I mean all genres of music. Music itself gives you a type of feeling, and it's really a an avenue for some a lot of people don't like talking. Some people would rather sing it out or rap it out. I might express some feelings on a track that I would have never expressed just to a person talking face to face, and then I feel like that's what music is. Music gives you a feeling. Music kind of goes with the times, and it should be an expression of what's going on in the world.
True. It's one of the most universal forms of anything. It doesn't matter what language you speak, it's universal. Like, it touches you, you can relate to it, even if it's just the instrumental side or with lyricals or just poetic or whatever it may be. It's so universal. It doesn't matter what language you are. You got Korean, Japanese, Chinese, they singing our music, and of course it's a little harder for us to learn, their music, but it just it ties into each other like that, and that's how we kind of keep up, like you say, with everything.
Yeah, the story that's relatable to everyone.
Yeah, and the culture itself, and I'm speaking on hip hop in general. Right now, it's the NBA playoffs, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when it's time to go to a commercial break, I'm quite sure you're probably gonna hear some type of hip hop or R&B going on. And when you when you go into the stores and you shop, or if you see a little suburban kid, how they dress. It all has to do with some form of music. They saw somebody wear it. The way kids dance these days is all centered around the hip hop culture.
Even when you go to like the high end, like the Neiman Marcus, the Ferragamo, the BCBGs, they're playing hip hop music. I don't care how opulent those $1,000 gowns and shirts are. They playing what? You shopping to this? Because what? That's what we want to hear. Yeah. That's what people want to hear. It keeps you in the mood to shop, and regardless if you don't listen to the content, the beat gonna catch you. And so that's like you said, it's a big influence on shopping, on lifestyles, on living, on the culture. Period. Point blank.
Facts.
So we the agenda for this show today is we kind of gonna get into some of our influences as far as the Mount Rushmore. So we would say our Mount Rushmore, it was our top 5 artists, period. Our top 5 artists, period, that have ever come out. Not just at this current time, but just period.
Yeah.
Most 5 influential artists. And we're going to start it off with Money B because I know his is going to be controversial.
Well, we're not even going to make this controversial because it's an opinion. Let me just state that first. Because these are our opinions, and we shouldn't even have to question why these people are influential to us. It's just to be like, oh, okay, I respect that. Because we ain't got to elaborate over it. We've already had this discussion, y'all. We want y'all to understand this. So we're going to keep it short, sweet, but to the point. And like we said, we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Money B.
Money B, top 5.
Top 5 influential artists for me.
Yeah.
I would have to say Jay-Z, of course. That was like one of the first artists that made me want to rap.
Oh,
Jay-Z, yeah. Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Nas, and then represented for the South, Scarface, Uncle Face. I feel like he's one of the best storytellers, one of the best storytelling rappers of all time.
True.
He's not appreciated as much as he should be.
So what is their influence on you in the music? Like, what is it that made their styles of music what did it do for you?
Jay-Z on a business level, entrepreneurship.
Right.
I respect him as an artist and as a businessman, as a family man as well.
Okay.
Like I said, Nas, he's one of the forefathers as far as like really breaking through, is kind of creating the blueprint for like a lot of the new conceptual albums. You know what I'm saying? For lyricists,
so he's a lyricist. Definitely.
And Tupac, he was the voice of the whole ghetto, the whole urban community. You know what I'm saying? Everybody could relate to Tupac. We all felt Tupac's music somehow, some way.
Yeah.
It helped us get through our day. Biggie's one of the greatest rappers, I feel, on a technical level. His flow was always strong. He put out great music. So he influenced me to want to, perfect my craft and really be good at it. What else? That's what I said.
Face.
Oh, Face. Yeah, Face was one of the greatest storytellers of all the time.
Just listening to his
story.
story.
You listen to it, it's like you get an image. You know what I'm saying, in your head. You can see what he's saying.
Stood alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
His
lights was off, y'all. His lights was off.
So yeah, man.
It was a stormy night.
Yeah, that's my top 5 for sure.
That's what's up. You gotta respect that. So I love the influence that it had on you. So how you feel, Trey? About yours?
Me, let's see here. Mine is gonna be similar to Money B. Number one artist of all time to me is Tupac, and the reason it is Tupac is because, and I thought about this a little bit. Tupac actually was able to do the dance music at first with Digital Underground, and then he was able to do the gangster rap and make it what it was, because during the 90s, you know, gangs were a big thing, and that I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but gangs were a big thing in the 90s.
Right.
And Tupac, that type of rap, that type of forbidden rap was brought to the forefront a lot by Tupac. Ice-T as well, but I mean, mainly to me, Tupac. And then another thing about Tupac is that when it was time to actually talk about what was going on in the communities, in the world, and the oppression that was going on out in the world, Tupac was not afraid to step out and talk about it, and not be afraid to take all the lashings that was going to come with it from the government and whoever else might have had something to say about it. So Tupac is my number one. My number two is Biggie, just because Tupac and Biggie, they basically ruled the whole world during that period of time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Biggie put on for the big boys. Biggie was a lyricist, but he also was, you know, made it cool to be big. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, everybody else, you know, it has to be like, hey man, you need to lose some weight. Well, no, he wouldn't have been Biggie if he'd have lost some weight. You know, he made it cool to wear the Versace shirt and the Coogee sweater. But at the same time, he had the lyrics with it.
Yes.
And that's why I liked Biggie. He only dropped 2 albums. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but as far as like being how can you be a GOAT? The reason he is a GOAT is because people always have to say his name, and he only dropped 2 albums in his whole career.
Within that short time span.
In a short period of time, he was so good.
But that's the impact of when you are favored by God.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then, well, and another thing is that, I mean, I don't know. Tupac and Biggie, okay, first of all, a lot of people think Tupac is still alive. And I work with a guy. He always, hey man, look up his conspiracy, man. Tupac Lake, they saw Tupac in Lake Tahoe last week, and I'm like, man, Tupac. If he's still alive,
Jesus on the Dorito, that's great. He's
Dorito.
not here, buddy. So
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm not. Hey, it ain't. It's up to between them and Jesus.
Right.
What I'm saying is that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Tupac and Biggie, okay. Supposedly, Tupac faked his death, dropped the album called Machiavelli, okay? And then supposedly, I mean, this is before Biggie even died, he dropped the album called Life After Death. I mean, how ironic is that we lose 2 artists, and both of their last album had something to do with death.
Correct.
I mean, it's crazy. So,
well, let's move on to your third artist.
Okay,
though.
those 2. Okay, I'm explaining as I go. My
Right.
third artist, favorite artist ever, I would say Jay-Z. You know, I like Jay-Z, especially some of this newer stuff that he's been dropping. Some of his older stuff, like I said, it was a hard knock of life. It was a struggle for him coming up. But as he became that businessman, Jay-Z started to help people understand why it's so important to own your own masters, own your business, have the right part. Have the paperwork right as far as the money side, and he has the potential to be a billionaire. You know, him and Beyonce together are a billionaire, but you know him alone, you know, worth 700-800 million.
Correct.
So the business side, yes, I love Jay-Z. And as far as lyrics, I mean, he always said he's a trendsetter. You know, the first person to ever wear a diamond chain was Jay-Z. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. First person to ever wear a diamond chain was Jay-Z. The first person to ever wear platinum was Jay-Z.
Yeah, true.
Right.
I mean, so he was the trendsetter for hip hop. You know, Tom Ford. So now everybody want to rock Tom Ford.
Don't even know where he's located.
Yeah, no, we don't even know where to buy Tom Ford at until Jay-Z
said something about it. Right? Like, who is Tom Ford? Dang.
But amongst other things, yeah, Jay-Z, one of my top artists. Okay. So number 4,
Right.
my 4 top artists would be Scarface. I like Scarface as well. Yeah, Scarface put it on for the South. I'm a Texas boy, man. We grew up on the Ghetto Boys, and to not put Scarface in the top 5 would definitely be an injustice for the South, because there was no South movement without the Ghetto Boys and without Scarface, and there would have been no Lil Flip, and there would have been no Atlanta movement. None of that would have even went on. Hip hop started on the East Coast, and I just want us around here in the South to understand that hip hop was an East Coast thing. We kind of brought it to the South, and the Ghetto Boys and Scarface actually opened that door for the whole South. So if we can't put him in there, then we can't even make a list. And then number five, we talked about this the other day, but my number 5 guy is LL Cool J. And the reason it's LL Cool J is because of the business side, the marketing. There, he was the first mainstream artist to basically get to that platform, and now he is taking it to movies, which he's still on TV shows. I mean, there was no artists in movies, there was no rappers in movies and TV shows, there was no shoe commercials and all that before LL Cool J. Now, as a solo artist himself, he's probably the first one to ever get a shoe deal, and then he got a deal with Kane Gold and all that. Run DMC, I understand.
But what was the first movie LL Cool J played in?
First
TV show or movie he played in?
Oh, first TV show LL Cool J ever played in.
Or movie. I'm just asking.
Because
I remember Tupac before I remember LL Cool J in the movie.
No, but I'm talking about from a marketing standpoint. You gotta understand that Tupac was
marketing.
Yeah, but a lot of people closed the door on Tupac because he was Tupac.
Because he was Tupac. Saying so much.
LL Cool J was the person who would come out mainstream, basically like turned it into pop. There wouldn't even be popular rap right now if it wasn't for a guy like LL Cool J. So that's why I put LL Cool J as my 5th. And now we move on to Miss Angii Babie's Mount Rushmore.
The Queen speaks. Okay, so of course I am going to start off. My first person is Tupac. Tupac, for me, he was the first rapper I ever can say that influenced me, and I heard him. Like, it was before, like, rap didn't really mean anything to me because I couldn't relate to it. But then when he did put out Machiavelli, that's what influenced me the most, because I literally heard him. It was one day I was just at home. My dad got it sent to me. He worked for the radio station in Austin, 88.7 KZI, and he had a weekend show, and he got a Machiavelli CD. He was like, "Which one for your birthday?" I was like, "I want Machiavelli. I want Tupac," because I remember us in the gym, all the girls, and not even the boys knew the words to the song. We quoting the Hail Mary. We quoting Hail Mary, and we all singing and we going in, and it was like, okay, but it was a certain verse that I heard, and it was like, okay, well, that verse right there made me want to hear the CD, and then I heard the CD, and it was like a no skip, and I was like, okay, I'm in love with Tupac, and he made me realize that you can be intelligent and you can be what they call is hood, and you can be anything you want to be, and you can still be heard. And so that's what I like Tupac for, because even after this is supposed to be the death of him, and he still was the most influential rapper even in his death. So therefore it's like, okay, I gotta hear what he's saying, because if y'all believe this man is gonna come back in 7 years with whatever. But I'm all about the fact that y'all, he actually can make you believe this.
Yeah.
I'm with that, because he had that kind of influence on people. So that's the influence he had on me, and it just made me open my ears to more than just R&B and gospel, because that's what I was bred on, that's what I was raised on, that's what I knew. And I always shut myself down due to what my grandmother had to say. Oh, rap, Angii. Come on, grandma.
Nobody want to hit it bumpity bump.
I'm like, you gang activities with grandma. Stop playing. But hey, that was my first one. My second one was Wayne. Lil Wayne. It was because I spoke so fast, and it was really a toss between Wayne and Twista for me.
You like Twista? Okay.
Man, I love Twista.
Yeah, I like
but
Twista.
it was a toss up between Wayne and Twista. And with Wayne, it was just like he was able to gravitate towards me because he did have that South feel. He had that South vibe, and
he does, yeah.
And he was versatile from being just 14. That's more so what I was so like, oh my God, he's 14 years old, and everybody wants a part of this little man who has such a big voice, and he's saying a lot. But if you listen, he was so metaphoric, and that's what drew me to Lil Wayne, because he was metaphoric. He can make lettuce mean 3 things one way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He can say one thing and have you thinking like, what? Hold on. Okay. So therefore, that was Wayne. Monica, she's my third. She's really first because she's my R&B influence, but I grew with her. She's the first R&B voice I heard. I love the fact that she was gospel and trap. I'm a Christian, or I'm a spiritual follower of God, but I also like trap music, and that's why I love her. And she also has million avenues, 8 avenues of streams of income, and she showed me, like, if you didn't follow her as an artist or as a person, then you wouldn't know that she had all this going for her. you know, she's a hairstylist, she's a mortician, she's a singer, she's a mom, she's a clothing designer. Yes, she is a mortician. It runs in her family. Her uncle actually owns his own funeral parlor, and she took it up, went and got, she embalmed. She's been doing it for years. Fixes them getting ready. She, you know, that's her big thing, is to have 8 streams of income. So I love the fact that she is just about whatever it takes to get the job done.
Who is Monica dating now?
She was with Shannon Brown. It is rumored, allegedly, that they are up for divorce. I try to keep up with T.I. and Tiny's family hustle and stuff, but so, and then also I follow her on all IG and all the social media networks. But it is rumored to be that they're getting divorced, so she filed for divorce. And so this new music, I hate to say it, is the bomb.
It's gonna be even better.
Yes,
when you're going through something.
Yes, because she has even more to talk about. So this new single right now, y'all,
True.
Commitment, is the bomb. Y'all should check it out.
I'm sad, but
I
y'all.
Monica.
It is her, Mary J, Keisha Cole. The best music is when you feel through your pain. Besides, unless you're an artist like SZA, and I love her because she's so out the box, so different. LMA, all those new artists. But anyway, back to my top 5. That was number 3. Number 4 is T.I. T.I. brought trap, and he mixed trap, business, rap, all of it together. Love him. That's it. I don't really have too much more to explain. I just love T.I. Love him as a person, a hustler, a family man, and to me, he's the hood's Bill Cosby. Ain't nobody. He just ain't giving pudding to get pudding. That's all. Cool. My 5th rapper is Kevin Gates. That's my guy. Love me, Mr. Luca Bryce. When I first heard about him, I was riding in the car on my way to work, 7-Eleven, y'all. And my coworker was like, he played Satellites. 2013, when I first heard him. I was riding around the circle on my way to work at 7-Eleven. I was like, who is this? What is he talking about? Ooh, I like him. I like his sound. It was his sound that caught me. And then I got to hearing his words. And a lot of people was like, oh, he nasty. And I was like, oh, that's all y'all heard? He had a whole CD. And y'all heard one bar. So when I listened to everything else, it was like, oh, man, this man got pain. He got joy. He got happiness. He got realness. He got where we are today. And he's just really an example of where we are today and what he's trying to be, how he's changed his life, what he wants. And everybody sees, like, he's not that typical rapper who's all overjoyed about the fame of females and all that or whatever. And he might talk about it, but his sole life is his family. And that's what he do this for. His family to come up and do have the awareness and do speak on that part. Because he was still, you know, messing up. He still just got out of jail. He's still real. But he's not going to stop living and being who he is because of everybody else's opinion of him.
And shout out to Kevin Gates, man, because one of the big things about Kevin Gates that I like and that I love about him, man, is that he down for his one girl.
Man,
he
one.
Hold it down, right?
And the hip hop
industry is focused on
I mean, a lot of people think these artists are out here.
And
everybody sleep from door to door, and Kevin Gates is one of them ones that'll tell you straight up, man. That Drika's for him.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Miami. Sorry.
We love you, Amy. We all haven't got that special someone yet, Trey. God bless.
Well, it's understandable, but at the same time, y'all got to understand that we have to understand what we're doing as far as, you know, what our kids are looking at. Kids follow everything. They may not say what they see, but they see everything.
Correct.
So, I mean, if you live in a household and you're being abused, your kids are seeing that. You know, you growing up, your kids are seeing that, and they probably gonna go through it when they grow up. You know, they probably gonna, you know, let their man slap them and come back because, you know, or
woman slap their man, because there's a lot of woman beaters out here. I know them, yo.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, yeah.
That ain't no drip we trying to follow. We trying to stop that one.
Yeah,
keep it positive.
And that's one of the big things about this show right here. We're gonna bring light to a lot of situations, a lot of things that people may not want to talk about. We're gonna talk about them right here.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna talk about the everyday struggle of just life,
waking up
and waking up.
You know how hard it is just to wake up.
Yeah, and you gotta thank the man up above. You know, just by being able to wake up and having the opportunity to go hustle for your family. And you know, there's a big, you know, the word hustle gets misconstrued a lot. A lot of people think that it just means sell drugs. Well, I represent positive money, but I hustle every day.
Correct.
And I hustle for my family, and anything that can bring revenue to your family and help your family grow is a hustle. So don't get it misconstrued, y'all. Hustle can mean anything. So if you're a grown man and you wake up in the morning and just sit on the couch, then you're not a hustler.
He's hustling that couch though. That's what's up. That's a nice hustle on the couch.
And if you're a woman, and you letting a man just sit up on your couch,
you ain't hustling either.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you.
That's fine.
You putting yourself in your own position
for the couch, but what are you doing? Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. But hey, we ain't gonna go too long on that. We're going to follow into what our top 5 current artists that we like.
Yeah, minute from eternity. Yeah, so we all testify. And the devil still is a lie. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name.
My top 5 current artists right now. A couple of them we've already talked about. A couple of them are controversial just because of who they are and what they've been through over the past few years. But I'm gonna start at the top. My top artist right now is J. Cole, and I'm gonna ride with J. Cole just because I like what he's talking about. Ever since he's come out, I everything that's going on in the world, he's talking about it right now. And if you don't have any J. Cole mixtapes, if you don't have any of his album, you sleep, and you need to wake up. And people will see people who follow me on Facebook and Instagram. They know I repost his music because it's usually some informational type of hip hop, and hip hop was created to be informational and to be our voice. So I feel like J. Cole is the guy who can take it to the next level. Number 2 would definitely be Kendrick Lamar because of the same type of thing. He's just doing it on the West Coast, but Kendrick Lamar, man, he's a lyricist, man. He can go fast or he can go slow. He know how to make a good song, so I'll go Kendrick Lamar 2. Number 3, Drake. The reason it's got to be Drake is because Drake don't put out anything whack. He just
Champagne
really don't.
Poppy. Yes,
Drake
he does.
don't. I mean, he
yes, he puts out whack music.
She said Drake puts out whack music.
What was that? That's that third album that Take Notes, Take Care of Me, all that singing, all that.
So she didn't like the singing Drake,
all that
but Drake initially came out as an R&B guy
He
first.
originally came out as Jimmy in the wheelchair for me. That's what he originally came out as.
The grass,
right.
But at the same time, we gotta understand that didn't do nothing but that's opening the door.
You know,
that opened the door for him as an artist. Now maybe he could have been an actor. You know, he may have been a great actor. We never know.
He's acting now.
But at the
are you serious? It's funny to me, but
the reason Drake got to be there is just because he stay on the charts. He stay on the charts.
That's what's up.
So Drake. So that was how many was that?
That was 4.
Was that 4? That was 3.
Yeah, your 5th one's Kodak Black, right?
No.
Okay, I was going to continue, bro.
No, that was 3. All right, that was Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake.
Yeah,
okay.
2 more.
So number 4, current artist right now. I thought about this, but I didn't think about this. So the reason I'll put Logic. I'll put Logic because he's going the diversity that Logic is going to bring to the game. He's number 4 for sure. Okay. And number 5, I'll say Joyner Lucas.
Joyner's so dope.
And I like Joyner Lucas just because I like lyricists. In case you hadn't noticed, my top 5, it's usually somebody who's
saying
spitting.
Something.
Yeah, it's usually somebody who's spitting.
That's why we're here.
It's usually somebody who's spitting.
Yes.
And I mean, it really don't need to be talked about. I mean, if you listen to music, you understand that some of this music has substance, some of it don't.
What's the freestyle he just dropped? The freestyle he just put out.
Which one?
Joyner. The Devil's Work, right?
Devil's Work.
That was crazy.
And R.I.P. to all the lost guys that we've lost in this music industry. Nipsey Hussle's gone now, and we'll get into that later. But a lot of people, and I was one of them. I was, kind of sleep on Nipsey Hussle until he passed away, and I'll kick myself in the leg for that. But at the same time, the guy was doing a lot of things in his community, and we gotta take heed to that. But at the same time, there's a lot of people in your own current neighborhood that's doing things in their community, and y'all need to take heed to that, understand that, and move with them now while they're here, love them while they're here.
Definitely.
So, Miss Angii, we'll get into your top 5 current artists.
True, and just to elaborate on that last statement you made, I don't know if y'all checked out what's Boss Life, Slim Thug. That dude has oh my God! When I read it last week. He's going into the communities. He's buying all these homes that have been neglected and no longer have wanted. He's buying them and he's giving them away to single moms and homeless people. He is our own. Yeah. We got that already here, and we're not looking at that. Like, dang, who is giving him any accolades besides the people in Houston? Yeah, we understand that he's only touching that community right now, but he's only one man.
True.
So this should trickle down effect, and y'all should be following his drip to start their own thing in your own community, to where we're taking these, getting our money together, because it's not just him, it's him and 3 other men who have a substantial amount of income to go ahead and take their sales. And they started with one house. You can't start with 10 unless you got the income, but at least start with one. You start with that one, and then wham, you got 2, you got 4, and then multiply. So the biggest thing we can do is multiply, and give back to our people, and we can make that drip a big giant ocean. But
yeah, shout out to Slim Thug and Trey the Truth. They do a lot of community involvement in Houston. And
because what's the point? What you doing it for? You just want to be heard, then what? Okay, I heard you. Now what you gonna do with it?
Right. You gotta give them the accolades while they're still alive to hear it. And I'm saying that's the problem with Nipsey Hussle. We didn't pay attention to too much till after he passed away. So you gotta, give them the flowers while they're still here to smell it. Shout out to, much respect and salute to Trey the Truth and Slim Thug for doing great things here in Texas, in the state of Texas, and in their community.
And then also in Georgia, because he's all around the map. I think he's still vice president of Grand Hustle, of his side of Grand Hustle South. Trey the Truth is. He has something to do with it. So he does have an influence more than just here. He's going all around the map. But back to my top 5 influences of people that I'm listening to right now. It's Monica, of course, Ella Mai, Khalid, Alina Baraz. I know y'all probably haven't heard of her.
I haven't heard of Alina Baraz.
Alina Baraz I love me some her. She's like feel good sound, acoustics mixed with R&B and euphoria. That's all I can say about her. She's one of my favorite artists. I have all of her albums. Got them. And then lastly, y'all not gonna believe this is who I'm like super turned up on right now. I work out to this guy every morning. I hated him when I first heard him, but now it's like I can listen to his album all day. It's the best 32 minutes I could ever listen to, and it's DaBaby. So I never thought I would have been interested in none of these artists, but yes, those are my top 5, and for those reasons, I don't feel like I want to explain, but those are just my top 5 artists right now who I'm listening to on my iPod, my iPhone, my anything. So
okay.
Money B?
I guess I'll kick off my top 5, Number 1, I have to say Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick's been on a great run since 2011. When I first heard Section 80, that was one of my favorite albums of that year. Good Kid, Mad City was crazy. Like, who wasn't a fan of Good Kid, Mad City? That's got to be like one of the best albums this past decade.
Never heard of it.
It's like the Illmatic. You haven't heard Good
No,
Kid?
But keep going. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. We're going to get into that later. Anyway, so Kendrick 2. Kendrick 1, I'm sorry. Kendrick number 1. Number 2, I'd have to probably say Davies. He's an underground artist coming from New York. That's really dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all be hearing more of him. But I'm really a fan of his underground grind and where his music is going right now. And I like to see the underdog come up. I'm a big fan of watching the whole grind from the bottom before the rest of the world finds out about you. You know what I'm saying? I look at music kind of like how sport fans look at, their favorite player, and they watch him, him get drafted. He go to the college basketball, if he goes straight to the league, and to see how he does once he makes it big time. So that's kind of how I am with my artists. So Davies is number 2. Number 3, I have to say Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. I was really on his music heavy before he passed away. I loved his music, loved what he was doing with the whole movement, the whole marathon movement. It was so inspiring, so motivational, from his music to the moves outside of what he was doing. I followed all of it, you know what I'm saying? So I was already, just truly inspired by what he was doing in his music. So he has the 3rd spot, regardless of his passing, you know what I'm saying? I hope there's more music that we can hear, even after his passing. I'm sure he did a lot of music, recorded in the studio. And I'm sure his brother and the rest of his organization, they still have some music, in the tuck for the right time, you know what I'm saying? That's that new song that just came out, DJ Khaled's album, Higher. It's dope. If y'all haven't heard it, make sure y'all check that out. Nipsey, he's definitely going to be truly missed by the hip-hop community. 4th, I have to say, probably Big Crit. I'm going to bring it down south, you know what I'm saying, for the Southern lyricists. I feel like it's not as many as it used to be when I was growing up, you know what I'm saying? We had Lil Wayne. He was on his run. T.I. in his prime, Jeezy. I wouldn't call him a lyricist, but he was, he had a few punchlines. But you had Outkast, the lyricist.
You had David Banner. You
what
had
about
Ludacris.
You definitely had Ludacris. You had Chameleon and Paul Wall, man. You know what I'm saying? They were some spitters, coming straight out of Texas.
Get your mind correct.
Yeah, get your mind correct was tough.
And Busta Rhymes. So come on now.
Yeah,
we're talking about the Southern. Yeah, we're talking about the Southern artists right now. But definitely, yeah, Chameleon. Matter of fact, that was like the second artist I heard from Texas music was Chameleon. When I first heard Chameleon, I was like, yo, he's from Texas, spinning like that. Cold, bro. Cold. So, You know what I'm saying? Crit for sure for my fourth spot and my fifth spot. It was a toss up. So I think it was between Kevin Gates and Joyner Lucas. But I kind of want to give it to Kevin Gates because he's been consistent ever since he got out of prison. He hasn't stopped putting out good music, good quality music. His last mixtape, Luca Brasi 3,
Man,
it's a jam, right?
that's
I know you're a Kevin Gates fan, so you're jamming that, right?
From Discussion all the way to the very last.
What's your favorite track on the Angii Babii?
My favorite track. Oh man. I wouldn't want to say it right now.
It was okay. we can't talk about it right now.
Right.
But Kevin Gates, he doesn't hold back anything when he raps or when he speaks his mind. So
it's actually, it would be Serving H. That is actually my favorite because it's the beat, what he's saying, what he's talking about, and just how it starts when he come in. Serving H goes hard.
I like the Luca Brasi freestyle. He was on that.
I mean, he ate on everything.
He ate on everything.
Serving H, it just sounds good in my car.
And then Joyner. I'm waiting for Joyner to drop the album. I know he's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's gonna jam.
It's gonna be phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to go listen to him. I have not heard.
Yes, we gotta educate you on Joyner because you know what I'm saying. He's still like on the come up. He hasn't dropped his official debut album, but just from the videos and you know what I'm saying, the meanings behind them, the conceptual ideas and creativity from it, he's definitely gonna be one of the artists here to stay.
What was the song on Eminem's last album?
Oh wait, I don't know. I forgot.
The one where they had the video with all the
Yeah, I don't know the song, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Move, give me some room.
That's joint's fire, man.
You know what I did listen to though when you just brought up Eminem? That was the dopest song. Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say. When I listen and I know every word to it, I'm like, Dre just went off on everybody, man. Listen to him. Huh?
Lucky You. That's the name. That's the name of the
Okay.
joint. Okay.
Yeah, Lucky You.
I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't a big fan of Eminem's last album.
Man, I was a fan of every album he had. Like I could.
Did I
man.
not put him on my top 5?
You did. You did before. You was
He
a
was
toss up
gold. He's
between
top.
him and Face. Before that was
But-
what your big thing was.
Wow, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Em's first 3 albums.
Because I know if it ever came down to a battle.
Exactly. Marshall Mathers.
We're not gonna talk about that, but
Yeah, I never. If it ever came down to a battle, who I'd roll with.
Oh
Money
yeah,
would be
OM all day.
Em's gonna kill on the battle regardless. But
Okay. Well,
anyway, moving on.
moving on to the next subject we got here. We're bringing about going back into Nipsey Hussle about the current state of violence in hip hop and local communities and the impact it's having on our lives as well as other people around us. So, Trey.
Man, first things first, man. I want to say a special. I always say RIH, man. Rest in heaven. Rest in heaven to Jay Bird and PJ18 and man, all these guys that we've lost out here in Waco, man. I've actually been a victim of it myself. My first cousin, known as Country, we're gonna leave it as Country, man. Country was lost to us in 2007, I believe, and man, he's still an unsolved murder right now, man. And of course, he lived his life, the way he lived his life. But at the same time,
Not everybody did that.
not everybody did that. Not everybody did that. Some people are just losing their lives out here, man. And it's up to forums like this, man, for us to come and take a stand against it, because.
And shout out to 94.5 The Beat. They did that peace rally in the park where they.
Oh yeah, I went to that. It was very.
It was
good.
real good.
It was really
I
good.
seen footage of it on Facebook and everything. So I was like, big. I didn't even know it was happening, but
His
big.
mom gave a phenomenal speech.
Oh,
Shout out
man.
to Jay Bird's mom. It was,
And
it was phenomenal.
and then Braxton Bennett. He was a very.
Fat
Braxton
Boy,
Bennett lost
RP
out
Fat
here in
Boy,
Waco,
man.
man.
That was actually one of my classmates, man.
He was one of my
He was
friends.
very fun, very talented young man, and we're
Humble.
gonna miss him. Very humble too.
Man.
And there's a long
miss
list
him.
of names, y'all,
And we
believe
can
it
go
or not,
through,
right
right.
here in this town. And we can talk about mainstream all we want to, but at the same time, we losing them right here. You know, right around the corner, every day to the same type of thing. And
it's really due to misunderstandings. Like all y'all have to do is talk, and you're so big on power struggle. Sometimes just let a person win. Like the bigger person in power is the person that just walks away and lets that person live, because you know what you're capable of 9 times out of 10. You know that this person sometimes is coming from an irate point of view or irrational, point of view. So sometimes you just gotta look at it and be like, bro, we good.
Put
And then
that pride to the
sometimes,
side.
it don't always be that way because life is what it is. But you have to try to take a high road and not let, your emotions outweigh, don't let the elusive intent mess up with the reality of the situation.
one of the main reasons Positive Money was created. Shout out to my boy Germany Williams, man. He out here push it, man. We got the credit thing going on, man. Gave a lady a free credit repair the other day, man. She was so excited because now she got her credit fixed, and we gonna bring him on the show, and we gonna talk about the whole idea, because a lot of people are not educated on this. I was one of them. No one ever told me about credit. The cards just start coming in the mail as soon as I turned 18, and we do what we always do. We go to the store and we run them up.
Exactly.
We think it's free money, but it ain't free money.
It ain't never been free.
Ain't nothing free in life.
And when it comes time to buy a car or a home or something like that, you're gonna need your credit, because you ain't gonna never have much cash.
Hey, the first way they put us into debt for people who are woke is college.
Well,
student loans.
And at the same time, you don't have, if you get your stuff right early, you shouldn't have to take a student loan. And it's up to us, for us who have kids, it's up to us as parents to educate our children, and we got to make sure that whatever our majors our children are going into, that it's going to generate some revenue, because the reason you go to college is to make money.
Yeah.
And you don't. There's a lot of, and shout out to all the educators out here in the world. And I'm one of the main advocates for them getting paid more money, because they have to deal with these kids every day.
Not only dealing with it, but if they don't teach them, then who's going to teach them? Yeah. On 8 hours of the day, we're working, so we can't always take that responsibility. And no, I don't want my kid right here all day next to me because I'm trying to do what I'm doing. So you have to commend those educators for that. But then also we need to put in a platform like the PTA again, so that there's a connection between the parents and the teachers, where even where my kids go to school, there's a disconnect, a giant one. And it's due to the fact that the parents don't know the teachers don't know the parents. And they're not trying to bridge that gap. They just use their digital whatever app to, your kid did this today, wham, wham, wham. And so they do need to be paid more. And if they were paid more, they would take more time to care.
They would care more about it.
Because they would have time to care. But they don't.
And one of the main things I see in these school districts, and, this is not, a shot at anyone, but at the same time, if the school district isn't good enough for your child, if you feel like it's not good enough for your child, then you shouldn't work in the school district. And that's just how I feel. A lot of people, I can't work over here in this school district, and I say that, hey, I'm teaching the kids the best, and they can learn everything they need to learn right here, but I take my child elsewhere because I feel it's not good enough for them. And that's just how I feel about school. That's definitely contradictory. But at the same time, man, I want to shout out to the people who are in these inner cities and trying to help these kids understand, just because some of the parents they don't understand themselves. They're not able to bring it to the forefront for their kids. An uneducated parent can't teach a kid what they need to know, and sometimes we have to educate the parents in order to educate the kids.
But we have to be willing to be humble enough to actually inform them and not, belittle them, condescend them, to make them feel like they less than. Like, nah, bro, you just don't grasp it yet. Like, let me show you, and then we can move this all together. You can show somebody else, and then you can show somebody else, and they can show somebody else. But it's never ever to demean you. And so some people take offense naturally. Oh man, you talking? The world is so sensitive. They so hypersensitive right now. I can't deal with them. Like, y'all really get on my nerves about everything. But because y'all cry and whine about everything. And of course, we'll get into like more controversial topics when it comes to, because I really want to talk about this LGBT stuff. Anyway, yeah, I got my own point of views on that. But again, back to where we was at. That's just my view on it.
Well, and then at the same time, like we were talking about the violence, we got to understand that a lot of this just it's a never ending cycle. It's a generational curse. It's something that they were taught. And when you grow up a certain way and you were taught a certain thing, you only know how to respond one way. And a lot of the children, they are growing up and they're going right into it, and they're basically teaching their kids what they were taught, and basically from generation to generation. If you grew up a fighter, then your whole family gonna be fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know some of
my family we were fighters. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to break it up, but at the same time, people continue to come with
in
it.
The
it's
masses.
It's just what it is, But at the same time, I have to look. Like I said, I got to look down, and when I say look down, I mean I'm looking towards my kids, and I got to see what am I giving them? What am I gonna give them to teach their kids? What are they gonna grow with and grow on? And so at a lot of times it just takes looking in a mirror, y'all.
Yeah, true. And being accountable. Accountability is the biggest thing we do not ever. That's that one thing we don't want to pick up. Get over there. No, pick it up because you did it. Be accountable and change it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well spoken, Trey. I like that, man. Well spoken, great, wise words from Trey.
This has been episode 1 of Follow the Drip podcast. If you want to see more from us, hit that like button, hit the share button. We will be having some of your main local artists as well as mainstream artists come into our studio and interview. And if there's somebody you want to see on one of our first episodes, make sure you hit us up in the email or follow us on Instagram. That's follow_the_drip_podcast. And make sure you like and share our page. This is Follow Drip Podcast episode 1. Y'all have a blessed night.
Chip.
Speak to me, Father. Speak to me. Show me how to be the perfect example. I need an answer. Show me who I need around me. Go. Nobody